Welcome back. I want to apologize. So when when I set up this board today, I thought I'm going to get my old Minnesota Wild. Well, I mean it's new to me, but it's an old Minnesota Wild bumper sticker, right? This is their first year. This is before they had a logo. I remember when these came out, Minnesota had this released before they had this, and I remember thinking, so there's no logo. What's a Wild look like? And it turns out it looks like this. But I also have the Mighty Ducks here. What I did was I accidentally set up the 2003 conference finals, which was what's funny? There's a lot of shots in this game, but it wasn't exciting. There was not it was not an overly exciting. I don't expect this review to perform really well. But keep in mind that when I do the reviews, it's not about how they all perform. It's that every single game gets covered. That's really important. So the orange jerseys for the Ducks tonight. I don't think it particularly helped necessarily, but still, I like the orange jerseys, right? You guys that watch the countdown, you know. It's Talbot versus Stolarz. Anthony Stolarz, a really good game considering that, there was some doubt about him being ready to start the season. Gibson, of course, is out with a lower body injury. I thought it might be his back from carrying him in the last game. And then this is where it gets weird. So it's the ESPN feed. Now I'm in Canada, so I don't have any way of knowing what happened in the States. But on center ice up here, when there's breaks, we could hear the microphone. Like we could hear, so the commercials are running somewhere, but we could hear everything that was being said in the booth. So it's Leah Hextall, Brian Boucher. Luckily enough, they don't curse and swear. They didn't say anything bad about either team. Leah was trying to figure out who the starters were for each team. And so I thought, okay, so that's interesting. Now, the second time they threw to commercial, it happened again. So I thought, okay, if this is going to happen the entire game, it's going to be kind of distracting. After that, what we got instead was just a black screen, and on the bottom, in the lower left-hand corner, it said Sportsnet, and it said the game will be back kind of thing. And I thought, okay, so they can't fix it. So I got no commercials during this game, and I'm fine with that. It's one thing about watching NHL Live, you don't get commercials. Well, you get the one at the start of the break, and then the rest of it is just you don't get commercials. So, yeah, Wild get a power play in the first minute. Ducks do kill it off. Freddie Gaudreau had the best chance, and he doesn't get on the board tonight, but Freddie Gaudreau really was prominent tonight for Minnesota. Shots are 2-0 for the Wild 5 minutes in. The Ducks press. Talbot makes the saves. Stolarz is then tested as the Wild press the other way. McTavish going to the net. Mason McTavish is going to be a popular player with Ducks fans because he goes to the net a lot. Bukestad was then denied by Stolarz. The shots are 5-3 for the Wild at the half. Minnesota had the momentum. Getzlaf then had a chance that wouldn't go. The Wild rush. Stolarz makes another save. He was excellent tonight. Sturm then had a chance that was saved. Stolarz, again, right there, pretty solid tonight. Delorier and Duhaime were then unfriendly. It was Duhaime's first NHL game. So they sent him out for his first lap, and he tripped over a puck. So that can happen, and if you step on a puck, you're going to fall down. It's just, you can't skate on a puck. So yeah, the Wild had a 3-on-2 that fizzles out as Getzlaf comes back and breaks it up. Good game for Ryan Getzlaf tonight. The Wild net crashing, Gaudreau, good. On those plays, Kaprizov had a chance that was blocked. Spurgeon had a chance that was saved. Kaprizov really quiet in this game though. A strong play late in this period by the Wild. Getzlaf had a chance in the final minute, and that drew a crowd after the whistle. Foligno was unhappy. And so he gets the extra penalty out of that. He got 5 for fighting. He ends up with 17 minutes in penalties tonight. So Foligno, the emotional leader for the Minnesota Wild. So we go to the second period, and in that power play, Silverberg scores from Shattenkirk and Fowler at 17 seconds, the same time of the first goal for New Jersey tonight against Chicago. So, yeah, that's 3 power play goals for the Ducks in 2 games. They had 11 last year. 11. And they have 3 already in 2 games. So they got to be feeling pretty good about themselves right now. 5-on-5. Maybe a little more of a problem tonight, but they did get the power play goal. So, the Wild try to answer. There was a 2-on-1. Fiala misses wide. It's not something that we haven't seen. Duhaime almost gets goal number 1, but Stolarz says no. Getzlaf had a shot saved. Comtois collides with Talbot, but it was outside the crease. So this is one of those, why wasn't it called goalie interference? Because Talbot's outside the crease, and he collides with Comtois, and that's fine. Ducks playing well with the lead. Kulikov then had a chance on a rush. Stolars makes the save. Fiala fires one high. The Wild then press. They get themselves a power play out of it. Stolars saves a Dumba shot. And the Ducks were doing a good job of clearing the traffic and making sure that Stolars can see every shot, right? As long as he can see it, he's going to save it. After killing one, then the Ducks go to the power play themselves. Drysdale fires one wide. Zegras fans on one. And then things get kind of scrummy at the net. These teams not liking each other very much. Silverberg hits the post. The Wild do manage to kill it off. It was a crossbar, too, for Silverberg. Kaprizov, fans on one at the Ducks net. The Ducks pressed after that. Lindholm, he then had a shot. Talbot makes the save there. Both goalies, honestly, holding their ground, and it looked like this was going to be a very low-scoring game, as it did turn out to be. So, the Ducks pressed after that. Lindholm gets a shot. Talbot makes the save. I already read that part. 3:48 left. The Wild get their third power play, and this would be the one where they score. Now, remember, while I've talked about Anaheim and their power play last year, the Wild's power play last year was really unpredictable. It was horrible, and then it was unstoppable, and then it kind of went back to being horrible, and then it was okay. It was weird last year. Fiala scores the power play goal to tie it from Zuccarello and Kaprizov at 17:35. So even though Kaprizov didn't have the best game of his career tonight, he does get on the scoreboard. And it was a nice tic-tac-toe play on the goal. The Wild then tried to get the lead, but with 38.8 seconds left, the Ducks get a power play. And that straddles the period and goes into the third. Shattenkirk fires one wide. The Wild would finish the penalty kill. Stolars then snags a shot from Gaudreau. I've mentioned Gaudreau had a good game, and there he is on the board yet again. The Wild press. They draw a power play. There's an extended 6-on-5 for that, so they pulled the goalie for during the delayed call. Went on for a while there, but then they make the call. Dumba had a slapper that was saved. Fiala had a shot that deflects high and out. Solid penalty kill by the Ducks, and they kill it off. And again, it's make sure you keep them away from the net. Make sure the shots are from far out, and if they're not, and whatever shot is coming at him, Stolars needs to be able to see it, and he was. Kaprizov misses one wide. Shots heavily favoring the Wild at this point, and Stolars was becoming the story as to why the Ducks were still in a 1-1 tie. Ducks get a turnover. Getzlaf fires one wide. Raquel had a chance. Turns out to be a near miss for him. Back and forth action. The Ducks end up getting a power play, and things are really unhappy between these teams at this point. Both frustrated that they're not getting the goals, both trying to go to the net, and both teams not liking when the other team is the one going to the net. Getzlaf fails to bury one. Same for Raquel as well. The Wild would clear it out, and they would be the strongest chances that the Ducks had, and the power play was killed off by Minnesota. So 6:53 left, and it already felt like overtime. Like this felt like it was a chess match, and whoever gets that goal. No easy plays for either team. With 4:59 left, the Wild end up getting a power play. Really good penalty kill. Again, holding the Wild to the outside. Make sure it's out. Make sure that the goalie can see it and he can save it. Dumba with a near miss as the power play ends. And again, it really felt like next goal wins. We're down below 3 minutes. And guess what? With 7.9 seconds left, so at 19:52 of the third period, Foligno with a nice hard-working goal, because for Foligno, they're all hard-working goals, from Dumba and Brodin. So at 19:52, Minnesota takes the lead. So he had a fight, he had a goal, he's just missing the assist, does not get the Gordie Howe hat trick. And then with 7.2 seconds left, the Ducks both get the goalie pulled and get opportunities at the net. Pretty sure they had 2 shots before the game was over. So, it ends up being a 2-1 win for Minnesota, but if you're an Anaheim fan, they didn't get blown out. And again, defensively, they look solid. Their goaltending looks like it's going to be very good. Anaheim should be in a lot of games this year. I don't know how many they're going to win, but they're 1-1 right now. Minnesota, of course, 1-0, and they're going to LA tomorrow night. The shots were 15-10 Minnesota in the first, 14-11 Minnesota in the second. Do believe that by the time that the shot clocks are all updated, 14-9 Minnesota in the third. Final shots 43-30 for Minnesota. Power plays, Minnesota 1 for 5. Anaheim 1 for 4. Hits 17 for Minnesota, 21 for Anaheim. Talbot saves 29 out of 30. He was very good. Stolar saves 41 out of 43, and he was 7.2 seconds away from at least helping Anaheim get a point and, look pretty darn good in a division that is very wide open. So if the Ducks can stay in these games and stay competitive, and even if they're not the prettiest games you've ever watched, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you win, it's just how many you win. And so for Anaheim, I thought it was a gutsy game. Minnesota ends up emerging with the victory, which they need because their division could be a tough one. But there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. And to anybody who actually watches this video, hey, thanks very much. It's greatly appreciated. Again, not the most exciting game, but if you're the Ducks, this is how you have to play. And Minnesota is kind of back to playing Minnesota hockey. Kaprizov, that tic-tac-toe play was nice, but he was really controlled tonight, and he had some net misses in there as well. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.